Southern was outlined, everybody knew, quote unquote, their place in society. So what happened when you run into a situation whereby you are now given an opportunity to step out of that box, to do something that you've never done before, anticipating a future that you had never seen before? I work with Mrs. Knight. I rake fig leaves. And usually at the end of my day, right before lunch, I would be hungry, she would be hungry. And you know, you learn that your boss get hungry, you get hungry, and there's only one antidote for hunger, and it's food. So those are two universal bookends. You gotta eat when you get hungry. You have nothing to do with that. You know, we don't control hunger, and we don't control the answer to hunger. But what we eat and with whom we share our table, we have control over that. Now, in the South where I grew up, it meant that after I had finished my work, that I would literally find me a cool spot, if such a spot existed, under the fig trees. And that's where I would have my lunch. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way it was. May not have been the right thing, but it'd been going on so long, you didn't even have to think. So all of a sudden, on my first day of working with Mrs. Knight, she walks out of her shop, you know, and I'm walking toward the fig trees. I'm hungry, you know, don't have a bathroom to go to. I mean, nothing is there comfortable for you. I mean, you're there to work. Everything else, you have to figure out how to handle it, because it is not laid out in black and white. So I'm headed toward the fig trees, and Mrs. Knight said, "Couldn't you come on now, come on, follow me." Everything changes. Everything changes. For whatever reason, in the middle of her life, this lady says, "Follow me." Totally changing the paradigm of how we had done things for years and what I had expected from her and from my work with her. So rather than leaving me under the fig trees in the same morass that I was in, she said, "Follow me." And what am I asking you as leaders to do? I'm asking you to set an example for you people. If we really want to maximize human relationships, want to have an inclusive school, a place where everyone is welcome, where learning takes place at its best, then you as leaders have to position yourselves to be welcoming and to, by your actions, tell your staff that everybody matters. You have to do this, and you have to do it consistently until it becomes a way of your school's life. That the buzz in this city will be, boy, if I go to Diane's school, everybody is number one there. I don't know how she does it. I mean, but you can tell. She means it, and everybody knows it. And you know, it doesn't cause a problem at all. The students even know. When a guest comes in, they are greeted as if they have been a long-lost friend. Why? Because Diane has set the parameter. She has created the environment. She has told her team, this is what I'm going to do, follow me. This is what Mrs. Knight says, Clifton, follow me. Into her home we went. I sat at a dining room table. I ate from a china. I drank from a crystal. But even more importantly, we discussed my future from a productive perspective. We did not discuss my future on how long I would be raking fig leaves. But make sure you go to high school. Make sure you complete high school. Make sure you be prepared to go to college. And even important, I couldn't even go to the library to get books. So you ask myself, you know, people say, well, Clifton, you know, what were your favorite books when you were a child? You know, I never read, you know, See Jim Run. You know, I never had those books. You know, I had to use what I had. And my great aunt that I talked about earlier, she built a library in her house. And she would write to the black colleges to send her their old books. And she would go uptown to the grocery stores and get empty apple crates and paint them a putrid brown and put them in what she called her front room and line the wall with apple crate box and books from the black colleges. And on Saturdays, for 2 hours, I would have to go in and read. And these were agronomy books. These were not the books for, you know, what they call age-appropriate books for a kid. But her thought was, if they can write it, you can read it. And today, I'm very appreciative of the fact that I was started on the path of reading early. Now, that's what my great aunt did. And in order to bring other literature into my life, Mrs. Knight said, I'll check books out of the library. So even though things were not designed to propel me into the future as I now enjoy, there were those people who understood what it meant to build community. And this is why I tell you that building community is transformational. It brings about incredible change, and it can bring into your life more than you ever imagined